All right, so get this. We've got a pop star, right? A controversial music video, like filmed in a church, no less. And then to top it all off, you've got the New York City mayor getting indicted.
Yeah, you couldn't script this stuff.
It's wild, right? Feels like something straight out of Hollywood, but well, this is real life, apparently. So we're diving deep into this whole thing, the curious case of Sabrina Carpenter, Mayor Eric Adams, and, well, let's just say a whole lot of head-scratching intrigue.
Yeah, and trust me, this isn't your average, like, church bake sale gone wrong kind of story. We're talking about potentially, some serious corruption here, maybe some hidden agendas, enough twists and turns to make a politician dizzy.
Okay, so to set the scene, we've got Sabrina Carpenter, pop star extraordinaire, right? But her music video for this song, Feather, let me tell you, it caused a stir. We're talking filmed at Blessed Virgin Mary Catholic Church in Brooklyn, a full-on Catholic church. And the video itself, get this, gets hit with the label violent and sexually provocative.
Yeah, not exactly your Sunday school material.
Not at all.
And the fallout was, well, it was swift. Let me tell you, the Catholic Church, they've got their hierarchy. So when a Monsignor, we're talking a high-ranking official here, green lights, something like this video.
Right.
Well, let's just say heads were going to roll. And they did. The church, they did a whole re-blessing thing. Can you believe that? And that Monsignor, Jamie G. Gantiello, the one who gave the okay for the shoot, demoted.
Talk about bad publicity. But here's where it gets even weirder. Okay, fast forward a bit, and now we've got New York City Mayor Eric Adams. He's facing federal charges, and it's not for jaywalking, bribery, campaign finance violations, the whole 9 yards. You're probably thinking, hold up, how does Sabrina Carpenter fit into all of this?
$1 question.
Right.
Well, buckle up, because here's where the plot thickens, as they say. The New York Post, they love a good scandal, right? Well, they dropped this bombshell report. Federal investigators, they've subpoenaed the church. That same church where Carpenter's video was filmed?
Oh.
Yeah, and they're not looking for lost footage or anything like that. They're digging into, get this, potentially shady business dealings. And guess who pops up? Our demoted Monsignor, Gigantiello. And to make matters even more interesting, a guy by the name of Frank Carone. Now, this Carone guy, he was Mayor Adams' chief of staff, his right-hand man, basically.
Okay, hold on. Let's rewind a bit. This subpoena thing, that's not like getting a parking ticket, is it? What does that even mean in this whole mess?
Oh, no, this is the serious stuff. A subpoena, that's a legal order. Someone, in this case, the church, they have to provide evidence, maybe even testimony. The feds, when they issue a subpoena, they mean business. They want to know what's going on, and they're not taking no for an answer. So whatever the feds are digging into, they seem to think this church might be caught up in it somehow.
So it's like they smell something fishy in the city that never sleeps, and it might be more than just a controversial music video.
You got it. This is where things get, well, interesting, to say the least.
It's like that whole thing, like, did the chicken cross the road because of Sabrina Carpenter's music video? Okay, maybe not exactly, but you see what I mean, right? Like, did Carpenter accidentally stumble onto something bigger with this video?
Well, it's possible, isn't it? Think about it. You've got the music video. It causes this uproar. The church freaks out, right? And then, bam, the feds are knocking on the church door with a subpoena. It's like they say, where there's smoke,
there's fire.
Exactly. So maybe this whole music video thing, it was just the thing that, like, brought everything to the surface.
So we're not saying she single-handedly took down the mayor with a music video.
Right.
But maybe she threw a wrench in the whole thing.
Exactly. And this is where it gets really interesting, like legally speaking. Let's say, hypothetically, the music video has nothing to do with whatever the feds are looking into, right? It could still have, uncovered some information, raised some flags that the investigators might have missed otherwise.
It's like those domino things, right? One thing leads to another.
Yeah, it's a domino effect, exactly.
And talk about unintended consequences. But you mentioned earlier, New York, it's no stranger to this kind of, well...
corruption.
Yeah.
Let's just say New York City politics, it's got a reputation.
Yeah.
And lately, the feds, they've really been cracking down. They want transparency, accountability, the whole shebang.
So Mayor Adams, he's not exactly alone in this.
Not at all. We've seen some big names, big organizations caught up in this stuff. I mean, we're talking the NYPD, even some former mayors. It's like you start pulling on one thread.
And the whole thing unravels.
Exactly.
And who knows, maybe this Sabrina Carpenter thing, maybe it's just the tip of the iceberg, or maybe this church investigation is going to blow the whole thing wide open.
That's the question, isn't it? Are we talking about a couple of bad apples? Or is this like a systemic problem in New York? How deep does it go?
This deep dive just got really deep, huh? But before we go too far down the rabbit hole, let's circle back to Sabrina Carpenter for a sec. So she's playing Madison Square Garden, right? Big concert. And she's got this line. She's like, should we talk about how I got the mayor indicted? Total mic drop moment. What do you make of that?
Well, she definitely knows how to work a crowd. And honestly, it's a good way to get people talking, even if it's all like, a joke,
Yeah.
But it does make you think, in this day and age, social media, everything moves so fast.
It's like that game we used to play as kids, telephone.
Yeah. By the time the story makes its rounds, who even knows what's true anymore?
Right. Suddenly, Sabrina Carpenter is some political mastermind, taking down corrupt politicians with her music videos.
Catchy headline, right? But let's be real, there's probably way more to the story. I mean, we're talking years of potential stuff, backroom deals, the whole 9 yards. We might never know the half of it.
So maybe Sabrina Carpenter didn't bring down the mayor, but this whole thing, it makes you think, doesn't it? Art, religion, politics, they're all tangled up somehow.
Yeah, it really makes you think. Like, what happens when those worlds collide? Can art actually change things, make people question things?
Right. And how do we even begin to understand power, influence, accountability, especially in this day and age when nothing is ever what it seems?
It's a lot to unpack, that's for sure.
I mean, it really makes you think, right? A pop star's music video, and somehow we're talking about a potential corruption in the mayor's office.
It's wild, right?
Yeah.
Like, what were the chances? Makes you wonder about that whole butterfly effect thing. One small action, like, who knows what it could set in motion.
And in this case, those ripples, they're kind of exposing something, right? Something that maybe someone wanted to keep quiet.
Yeah, and that's where things get serious. This whole thing really highlights how important it is, to have people keeping an eye on things. A free press, people speaking out, that kind of thing.
Right, because if something like a music video can set off this chain reaction, imagine what else might be going on that we don't know about.
Exactly. There's got to be systems in place to hold people accountable, right? Especially those in power. Power can be a dangerous thing.
It can, and it's easy to forget that sometimes. But you know what else this whole situation shows? It shows the importance of, speaking up.
Right. Whistleblowers, they call them, right? They might be the only ones who know what's really going on.
And it takes guts to do that. So kudos to them, seriously. But, it's kind of funny. In a way, we started with this pop song, a church, and a mayor.
And now look at us.
Right. Talking about corruption, accountability, the whole shebang.
It just goes to show, nothing exists in a vacuum, right? We like to think of things in these neat little categories: art, religion, politics.
Right. Totally separate.
Yeah. But the truth is, they all intersect somehow.
And sometimes it takes something totally unexpected, like a pop star in a church, to shake things up and show us how connected everything really is.
Yeah. And maybe even change things for the better. Who knows?
So where do we go from here? What happens next in this real-life political thriller?
That's the million-dollar question. This investigation is ongoing, right? More shoes could drop.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure we haven't heard the last of those.
Not even close.
Well, folks, I guess we're all just along for the ride. But that's the beauty of it all, isn't it? The world is a strange and unpredictable place. And sometimes truth really is stranger than fiction. It's enough to make you want to keep digging, keep asking questions, keep exploring those connections. And on that note, we'll leave you with this. What seems totally random in your own life. You never know. There might be a connection you haven't even thought of yet. Until next time, keep those deep dives going.